Today, we're going to talk about an idea that might just completely flip how we think about wealth, cities, even ownership itself. Imagine taking the most solid physical thing on Earth, a building, and making it as fluid and fast as an email. Yeah, this is where things get really interesting. But look, before we jump into the future, we have to respect the present. Real estate isn't just another asset class. For centuries, it has been the asset class. It's the bedrock of family fortunes, it's the physical proof of power, and it's the biggest store of value on the entire planet. And this is what that looks like in numbers. $300 trillion. It's a number so big it almost breaks your brain, right? It's every skyscraper, every house, every plot of land. A powerful and historically a very exclusive club. Well, until now. And this is what cracks the whole thing wide open. It's the core of what we're talking about today. What if this enormous, heavy, unmovable asset could suddenly become as liquid as the cash in your wallet? What if you could sell a tiny piece of an office tower to fund your next trip? This isn't science fiction anymore. It's happening right now. So to really get why this new tech is such a game changer, we have to talk about the fundamental problem with real estate. For all of its power and all of its value, it has this one fatal flaw. A deep-seated issue that's kept it in the hands of the super rich for centuries. You know, these words look simple, but the impact is massive. Real estate is heavy. It's a huge financial burden. It's slow. Buying a house takes months of paperwork, and it's almost totally inaccessible for the average person. But the biggest killer is illiquidity. You can't just sell a window to pay for groceries. You either own the whole building or you own nothing. And that brings us to the core of this whole revolution. If the problem is that bricks are solid and slow, while the solution is to make them liquid, we are talking about taking the most physical thing imaginable and turning it into something you can trade and manage right from your phone. And this is it, tokenized real estate. Let's just break that down real quick. You take the legal rights to a property and you turn them into digital tokens on a blockchain. Now, a blockchain is just a super secure shared digital record book. The best way to think about it is like the stock market. You don't buy all of Tesla, you buy a share, right? Here, you're not buying the whole skyscraper, you're buying a token that represents a tiny piece of it. So you're probably wondering, how does this actually happen? How do you take a steel and glass tower in the real world and put it into a digital wallet on my phone? Well, it all starts with a pretty clever legal trick. Okay, the first thing you need to get is this thing called a special purpose vehicle, or an SPV. This is the magic ingredient. It's the bridge that connects the physical world to the digital world. Basically, it's a new company set up for one reason and one reason only, to own the deed to the building. The SPV is the legal anchor. So the tokens don't represent the building directly, they represent ownership in the company that owns the building. This slide just lays it all out, nice and simple. Step 1, you got the asset. Let's say it's a $500 million tower. Step 2, the owner creates that SPV to legally hold the deed. Step 3, the value of that building is then chopped up into millions of digital tokens, say 50 million tokens at $10 each. And step 4, well, that's you. You hop on an exchange and buy 10 tokens for $100. And just like that, you are a fractional owner of a skyscraper. When tenants pay rent, a tiny slice of that profit comes right to you. And the difference this creates it's just night and day. On one side, you have the old world of being a landlord, fixing toilets, chasing down tenants for rent, needing a massive down payment. On the other side, you have the new reality of the token investor, pure passive income, access from anywhere in the world, and just exposure to the asset itself without any of the headaches. But, and this is a big but, this is where we have to get serious. We've talked about all the incredible potential, but let's be crystal clear. This is brand new. We are, without a doubt, in the Wild West. And out in the Wild West, not everyone gets to the other side safely. And I really want you to let this sink in. This is a huge warning sign. The technology is amazing, but it's just a tool. A token can represent a slice of a prime downtown skyscraper, or it can represent a worthless piece of a half-empty building in a bad neighborhood. The tech itself does not guarantee a good investment. So let's break down these 4 big risks. First, you have platform risk. What happens if the exchange you bought your tokens on goes belly up? Then there's the regulatory hammer. Governments are still trying to figure this all out, and a new law could just freeze your asset overnight. Then there's a liquidity crunch. I know the whole promise is liquidity, but what if there's just no one to buy your token when you want to sell? And finally, the most important one, just plain old poor judgment. A fancy token won't save you from a bad investment. Okay, so having looked those very real dangers right in the eye, let's turn back to the grand vision. Because and that's a big if we can figure out these challenges, the future this technology could unlock is absolutely transformative. The future is, without a doubt, fractional. I love this quote because it just captures the whole spirit of this movement. For generations, premium real estate was like a walled garden. It was protected by gatekeepers, the big banks, the huge funds, and they made all the rules. This tech doesn't try to fight them. It just walks around them. The old barriers, the need for huge amounts of capital, your location, they're all starting to just melt away. And this is the ultimate destination. This is the big idea. It's a future where the people who actually bring a city to life, the artists, the teachers, the small business owners, can actually own a piece of it. Imagine a world where your rent doesn't just vanish into a landlord's pocket, but gets paid back out as dividends to your neighbors, to your community. It's a vision of a more democratic, a more shared city. And that's really the final call to action, isn't it? It's a total shift in how you see the world around you. You stop being just a passive observer of your city, and you become an active owner in its future. It's the difference between watching the world get built around you and having a real stake in building it. So we're going to end it right here with a question for you. The technology is here, the potential is massive, and the risks are very real. The question isn't, can this be done anymore? The real question is much more personal. Do I have the vision to see where all of this is heading, and what part do I want to play in the future that's being built, one token at a time?